Good morning. So my name is Jörg. I've been working in women's health for the last 15 years together with my team. We have built companies in that space. We have sold companies in that space. We've brought technologies to market ranging from breast cancer diagnostic, surgery, and fetal surgery. And our latest mission now addresses the significant unmet need of managing hypertension during routine pregnancy screening. What we at ADBeats do, we non-invasively measure biomarkers that are very predictive of cardiovascular risk, that enables therapies to start early intervention and to manage that intervention also. We're already quite known in the research community, but with the data we've gathered, we are now embarking on the bigger clinical challenge, which is pregnancy screening. The problem is significant. Hypertension impacts 1 in 5 women during pregnancy. And if it's undetected, it has severe complications. One of the most severe forms is preeclampsia, which is a hypertensive disorder. And preeclampsia alone is a result of billions in healthcare costs alone every year. And the problem always is in the standard of care, they always mostly focus on one marker during routine checkups, which is blood pressure. And blood pressure has been around for many years because it's easy, it's fast, and every office has a blood pressure machine in their office. But it's terribly inaccurate. It's less than 50% of the time they are able to detect hypertension early enough for an intervention that is targeted. So it's a toss of a coin. But the scientific data already shows you that there are more accurate methods out there, or more accurate markers, but there are no tools yet to actually measure them easily during routine pregnancy care. That's what we come in. With our technology, we're able to measure with a simple cuff-based method, measure many different biomarkers that are very predictive and more accurate. So, and we have validated in a significant study with over 20,000 women in Europe over the last months, and with that data, we are now fundraising to go to the next stage. We are raising for a total of 3 million euros. Half of that will go for final clinical approval, and the other half will go for initial commercialization. The commercialization will consist of 2 pillars. One is a subscription-based model with our own hardware, but our proprietary algorithm can also be easily integrated into other OEM cuff-based machines, so we can license them out for more early adoptions. And those would be also channel partners or potential acquirers later on. And with that, I close my remarks, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Questions, please raise your hand so that we can get you a microphone. And introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Anastasia Marquardo from Barcelona here. Thanks a lot for your presentation. So it's a very crowded market, both for women's health, but even for overall companies measuring hypertension in patients. So could you elaborate a bit more on your competitive advantage and how you gonna beat the competitors? Thank you.
Yes, I think when you're in screening, you have to combine 2 things. One is ease of use. So that's what we can do with a very simple cuff-based system. And the second one is be extremely accurate. So our sensitivity and specificity data we have on our markers are significantly superior than those of blood pressure or even other DNA type tests that are currently available.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Madeleine Durand from Bupa. Do you have any initial user feedback from your solution, from both practitioners, women, about how easy they found it and accurate?
Yes, so we initially had a prototype version of it before we developed that machine that you saw here, that you can also see at our booth. And usability is extremely important, direct customer feedback, because it's the nurse that's actually handling the device. So one button is what's required for an immediate answer, follow checkup. So usability is not to be underrated in that space.
Emily Phillips. Do you have any results yet? Have you done from any trials, or what's been the outcomes?
Yes, so we have a The data accuracy or the sensitivity is about 88% of our latest model for preeclampsia prediction, and the specificity is 74%, which is very high compared to other standards, very high for screening.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you very much, Jörg Heise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Mayra Hurtado, Harmony, co-founder.
Imagine this. You woke up today. You have a big day ahead, and you want to celebrate with your family and friends. But all of a sudden, it's like a storm hit you. You woke up, and you've been having trouble sleeping maybe for days, weeks, months. When you go to the doctor, the only thing you hear is sleep early, exercise more, eat well. Isn't that very frustrating? How are you going to show up today? Well, 80% of women in their mid-years experience over 30 challenging symptoms that can disrupt every day of their life, every day in their lives. And the thing is that right now, there is a trial and error trying to manage these symptoms that usually happen in their mid-years because an increase of hormonal fluctuations. The problem is that there are not enough specialists to treat all these women. We're talking about one specialist for every 9,000 women. Then lab tests are expensive and they are insufficient when hormones are fluctuating so much. Right now, there's over 1 billion women going through this, and they're spending billions of dollars on this trial and error. And of course, they're feeling alone and confused through this process. And here's the thing, menopause and perimenopause is not a choice. Every woman will go through it. So we got inspired on our background on sports on how an athlete would have a panel of experts all working together, giving their athletes database information so they can win medals. Based on this, we created Harmony, which is an at-home rapid saliva test paired with an app that provides information and guidance to the user on what they should eat, when should be eating, what's their supplementation regimen and exercise. It is all home-based, and you get results in minutes. It's as simple as you take a saliva sample, you take a photo of the strip with your phone, and within minutes, the algorithm provides a personalized plan. We did a pilot this year, and the feedback from the user is that they love the convenience and the guidance, but also telehealth platforms, they really want to provide data-driven consultations from the first start, especially when they only have 5 to 10 minutes to see them. We have over 40 years of combined clinical, technical, and commercial expertise. My background is in finance, operations, and marketing, and my co-founder, in her previous venture, Pictor, she sold over 100,000 tests in the first 12 months. Of course, we have a diverse team of experts from regulatory, AI, diagnostics, marketing, and consumer behavior supporting us. We have initially this year raised $125,000 from a safe round from angels, and we have bootstrapped so far.
Okay, Mayra, thank you very much. We're sorry we didn't get to the end of your presentation.
That's it.
Not sure you have much left, but now there's just under 2 minutes for questions. We open the floor to the jury members.
Good morning, Roel Dekkers, Next Gen Ventures. Can you tell me a bit about how your solution or the results you have in reducing symptoms?
So right now, the test actually has been used in athletes, football players, rugby players. It's a saliva-based test. What we are doing is basically replicating what happens when you go to the doctor, which is they ask a bunch of questions, they tell you this and that, and we added to that is the rapid saliva testing so we can be more precise on those recommendations. According to studies, first of all, knowing reduces the anxiety, and then having the right nutrition can provide you better outcome.
Good morning, Nuria Martí from Biocat. I would like to ask you about the comparison with blood sample results. Do you have some results about that?
Yes, so the best way to test has to be urine or saliva. The reason is because in blood, hormones get bounded to the protein. So when you do blood tests, they actually have to do a subtraction. The problem with saliva testing is that until now it has been very difficult because saliva is dirty. So what we do is we have a buffer that separates this. Now, if you compare saliva lab test to our lab test, we are less sensitive because it's an at-home test, but the ability for you to test more often reduces the error. Plus, the benchmarks we're using is your own benchmark, not the global population benchmark.
Thanks. Elena from Hans Women Group. Can you explain how often do you have to test?
Yes.
Is it a weekly basis? Is it a monthly basis, daily basis?
Yes, but this is very important. The issue is that different hormones need to be tested on different days and different times. So that's why the test kits that you send to the lab are a little bit more complicated and not as effective. But with this, for example, cortisol, you need to test when you wake up, 30 minutes after, middle of the day, over at least one time a week, one time over 4 weeks, 1 month. Testosterone, estrogen
Myra,
is
thank
different.
Thank you very much. We've run out of time. We gave you a couple extra seconds there. Thank you very much. And just a reminder, if you don't get all of your questions asked or we have to finish a little bit early because of the time, you can always go out and approach everybody in the trade show area outside. So, number 3, here we go. Ana Luisa Shafgotch, CEO of Imply. Your 3 minutes start now.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for having us here. I'm Ana Luisa Shafgotch, the CEO of Imply, and we want to change the way that we do diagnostic health. Blood draws are complicated. They don't give us the data that we actually need. I suffer from polycystic ovaries. This is something I experienced for over 5 years. You go to the doctor, you don't get the data you need to get the diagnosis, and that leaves patients sicker for longer. And what we've done is we spun out a technology from Imperial College that enables us to monitor molecules in real time in the subcutaneous space. So a bit like glucose monitors, except we can monitor more than one molecule at the same time. That allows us to actually bring precision medicine to the world, because what we lose when we take a snapshot in time is all the data points that happen in between, and molecules aren't stable. And so that we can detect the small, subtle patterns that we need to find in order to treat and diagnose patients early. When we spun out the technology, my co-founder at Zitzer, we both suffered from hormone imbalances, and we decided that was the biggest and most impactful market to bring our product to market. So our product monitors estradiol, progesterone, and luteinizing hormone in real time. And that enables us to solve problems for over 1 billion patients in the world. Our first market is IVF treatment, where precision care is already done. Women go into the clinic, they draw blood every day, the doctor takes this data, analyzes it, and then there's a really low success rate at the end. And what we want to enable is women to be able to get monitored from home, doctors to get the data they actually need, and then to increase those success rates based on those points. We have an expert team behind us that has put medical devices out, that have built novel manufacturing strategies, and we are currently in the phase of first-in-human trials, which we are starting in January. But our product doesn't only cover IVF. We actually go way beyond. We're now raising our seed round. We, as I mentioned, want to do our first-in-human trials in January. We've done our in vitro trials of the device and go to market in 2027. We work with pharmaceutical companies together who obviously have interest in the data that we capture, and we work with the largest IVF clinic in the United States. Thank you so much.
First question over there. 2 minutes and 20 seconds for questions.
Hi, thank you for that. I'm Katrina from Exceptional Ventures. I absolutely love the space you're operating in. There's much happening right now, and also you mentioned glucose monitoring. There's a lot of similar patches coming for hormones. So how are you differentiating from the competition that is now coming?
So we've also have a microneedle patch or a needle patch. Microneedles that go into just the dermis space have inaccuracies, so you can't do precision medicine, so you can't suddenly prescribe a certain amount of drugs for that. So you have to go in the subcutaneous space, which is the space that we monitor in. We actually, with our implantable solution, believe in long-term monitoring. We're looking at monitoring 6 months plus. That is really our long-term goal. That is something that we need for markets like the menopause, where it's really, really relevant that we have this. Microneedles come with issues, and the big medical device companies in this space with glucose actually have witnessed this, right? Irritation. Not everyone's skin is the same, so darker skin tones, for example, really struggle with microneedles, and so these are solutions that full implantables provide.
Good morning, Aline, IT Health. How often do you keep the implantable inside your body?
So in an IVF treatment, that's about 30 days that we cover for monitoring. You get it implanted at the beginning of the treatment, removed at the implantation of the embryo. So it's kind of a complete life cycle. But as I just mentioned, we're working on 6 months plus devices that enable us to monitor much longer.
Any other questions? 30 seconds. Needs to be quick. Here we go. Now you have 20 seconds.
So can you just quickly explain how the clinical trial, or what do you want to achieve with it and show? Carina from FundF.
So our clinical trials should show convenience to patients. We're not going to show efficacy in IVF treatment until a clinical trial after we go to market, because it's something very difficult to, or we need more statistical data for that. But
thank you, Ana Luisa. Thank you. And next up here we have Ruben Molina, the CEO of Initius.
Nice Spanish. Ruben Molina here. I'm super excited to show you how pregnancy management can evolve from the early 90s techniques to 2024. Every year, more than 140 million of women become pregnant, yet 35 million of them will receive an incorrect diagnostic about the birth timing during the pregnancy. Nothing has changed over the last 30 years, but we firmly believe that it's time for accurate and personalized prenatal care. Women deserve better than digital cervix exams, inaccurate transvaginal ultrasound, or poorly predictive biomarkers. They need more precise diagnostic methods to evaluate the risk of imminent preterm labor, prevent its occurrence, and also to make decisions, informed decisions, about vaginal delivery or C-section. This is a statement from Dr. Stitskamp about how bad the current situation is. We hospitalize pregnant women, which we know in advance are likely to result in false positives. And this is precisely where we step in. It is well known that cervical softness is directly related to likelihood of vaginal delivery. Our technology allows us to measure cervical softness with high accuracy using our technology, torsional waves, a patented technology. But we don't stop at measuring cervical softness. What we do is to take the mechanical parameter from our probe, incorporate it into an AI model with the clinical profile of the patients, and we provide the doctor an assessment in the shape of a score and a level of risk associated. So they just need to make a decision about what to do. Our technology has been validated in more than 400 patients, and we can show already improved accuracy than ultrasound exams, improved reproducibility between users, and we have superior sensitivity and specificity than both biomarkers and the ultrasound exams. With our technology, we will avoid unnecessary hospitalizations and treatment of healthy pregnant women, prevent the cases of preterm labor, and avoid unnecessary dilation time during labor. Our Class 1 medical device will be ready for commercialization in the last part of 2025, while in parallel, we will recruit 7.5K of patients in 3 different clinical trials that will allow us to commercialize 3 different indications in 2027, 2028, and 2029. Until today, we raised 7 million euros, including an EAC accelerator. We are right now, December, January, securing a 4 million euros funding round. And we are planning already and working already on the A series of the company, 10 million euros, for completing the pivotal studies that I showed you previously, start with the market access, and expand our product portfolio to other indications. We already have a lot of interest by GE for this funding round. As you can see, in our company, we don't just aim to revolutionize diagnostic, but we want to make an impact in more than 140 million of women every year. Thank you.
Can you tell us more about the business model?
Oh, yeah. So our device is hardware plus software. So they just need to buy once the hardware, and they just will have it for the 3 indications and the indications that will come later. And they will pay on top of that, depending on the indication, a subscription for the first indication, for example, and after that, pay per use for every other indication. So, and that will allow us, I think I have a slide here, back slide. Yeah, to move from a hardware company to a software company, increasing the margins of the EBITDA over sales. Yeah.
Silvia at DKB. So can you elaborate a little bit more on the commercial strategy? Are you going to partner with medtech companies only, or?
Yeah, actually the idea at the end of the journey is to try to show the market some traction and to be integrated into an ultrasound machine. So every single OBGYN can have it at the OB office, integrated with the ultrasound. They don't need to have 2 different devices. So we are going to try to show traction with the first hardware, selling this hardware directly in 2025, trying to get some customers there and show the industry that this is something that the physicians actually need, and partner with them for the commercialization of the product.
Thank you.
Okay, so how many times do you have to do it to diagnose a woman? It's 1 time per woman, or there is a recurrency to make the accuracy of the diagnosis?
It depends on the indication. For the first indication, it's an emergency environment. So it's just 1 test, 30 seconds, they get their real-time result. The good point there is trying to go for the second indication, which is a screening test at week 20 of pregnancy, so we can establish like a baseline of every woman. So then when we go for induction of labor, or they have an emergency situation with the trying that they're having a preterm labor, we can compare with the baseline, but just once is enough. That's why we use the AI to put in context with ethnicity, previous pregnancies, and so on.
Thank you very much, Ruben Molina.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll take this. And next up, Claire Dixon, co-founder and CEO of Loop by Norara.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So for new friends, I'm Claire, CEO and co-founder of Norara. From my first migraine at 8 years old to now battling with high cholesterol in midlife, imagine learning that all of these gifts are linked to one underlying condition, and it's a condition that many of us have not even heard of. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, is the eye of the storm in metabolic, hormonal, reproductive health. Not just the leading cause of infertility, it comes with a long tail of devastating health complications. And today, the so-called standard of care confounds diagnosis, disrupts fertility further, leads to additional weight gain. What actually works? Electroacupuncture mediates the metabolic and menstrual symptoms. Totally inaccessible, around $15,000 a year, so we're translating those benefits, also proven out in high-quality peer-reviewed studies over the last 30 years, into an easy-to-use at-home device, placed on the lower abdomen and used 3 times a week for 30 to 60 minutes. And our broader Loop platform brings everything together into one place to manage PCOS as a chronic condition. How do we make money? We have 3 streams of revenue from end users. Our affiliate partners are also a source of privileged access to a broader customer base, bringing down our cost of customer acquisition and additional upside from our intimate understanding of this group of women who are carrying this burden throughout their lifetime. The opportunity in PCOS is huge, and we are literally one of a very small handful of groups worldwide who are tackling it. In less than 2 years, we've built our pre-production prototype, and we've proven it works in our own first-in-human studies. We've also validated commercial demand with a $1 million letter of intent for pre-sales with the leading online pharmacy in Quebec. So I'm in. Not just a mission-driven founder, I bring 25 years of international commercial experience and a Harvard MBA to my role, and my brilliant co-founder is the inventor of our patented microelectrode technology. We've also attracted world-class support, including the global thought leader in electrostimulation for PCOS. And we're now gearing up to get our device ready for our first FDA clearance. We're looking to align our resources for our clinical studies. And having found distribution partners in North America, we're looking to expand that network here in Europe and elsewhere. I'm Claire Dixon, CEO and co-founder of Neurora. We are transforming the standard of care for chronic underserved conditions, starting with PCOS. Please join us. Thank you.
Hi. Will this device require prescription from a medical professional?
No, we've chosen our regulatory path where we're entering via the code for TENS pain management as our entry point. We'll then create a de novo code using our own device as a predicate, and so that's an over-the-counter route. There's at least a 70% formal diagnostic gap in PCOS. Some women take 2 decades to get a formal diagnosis, so they know or they suspect they have the condition, but they have to jump through amazing hoops to actually get a doctor to sign off on that.
Madeleine from Bupa, what is the price of the device?
Yeah, so we're looking at a one-time price of $200 to $250 for the device, a recurring model. Obviously, our microelectrodes, they do penetrate the outer layers of the skin, so they're one-time use, so it's a consumable model, and then a subscription for the app, which will range from, a very low entry point of like $5 a month up to like a full-service model working with partners to like $99 a month. Women are spending thousands every year really masking their symptoms today, so they don't have a lot of price sensitivity around something that actually helps.
Roel Dekkers, Next Gen Ventures. So you mentioned the diagnostic gap. How are you making sure that this reaches the right patients?
Yeah, so, people like Myra, right? There is a lot of innovation in the hormonal tracking space now, a lot of at-home tests. What do you do when you get that information where you know now that you have PCOS? Well, you go back to your doctor and he offers you the same thing that he's been offering you since the 1960s, which is the pill. There's nothing out there. So, that gap is narrowing. I think a lot of women know they have the condition, but right now there's just nowhere to go with that. Yeah. Eventually, we will be bringing out a version that's a more traditional medical device model, but we'll target that at pre-diabetes and diabetes, which will obviously overlap with this community. Luxury of time.
Well, it's running very low, so thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks, Claire.
Thanks.
Next up, Vikram Ahuja, CEO of Napsolute.
Oops. Hi, everyone. My name is Vicky from Napsolute. We are a biotech company based in Thailand. We come a long way. So we make nano-modified biopolymer for drug delivery for cosmetic and skincare products that improves cosmetic and skincare products worldwide. So as you probably know, the skincare market is huge. And growing very fast, and at the same time, highly competitive. But there's a severe lack of real innovation in cosmetic and skincare market, which makes the brand having to sell similar or the exact same product in the market, forcing them to compete on prices rather than technologies. And if you dig deep into the key technical challenge in this market, it's due to 2 things. So first, we lack supporting technologies that let the active ingredients in the market shine, which results in low stability and also bioavailability in the finished products. So here's how we come in. So our core technology is called Hyasphere X, and which is the nanoparticles that help protect and also deliver active ingredients into the skin. Our solutions make cosmetic and skincare products more effective, more stable, and also less costly. Our product is also very easy to use. You simply mix our solution in the pot with active ingredients. We don't need any fancy machines or equipment or anything like that. The nanoparticles here will help encapsulate the active ingredients, help protect them, and also help deliver the active ingredients through the skin and make it more effective. So this innovation, what we are most proud of last year, we won the Innovation Award. It's called BSB. It's called BSB Innovation Award. We beat big companies like BASF and Liploid in the process. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say that. And we also attend the inequality global event in France last year, which we received lots of feedbacks from distributors worldwide, and we gained lots of traction from there as well. We have done a lot of scientific test results that confirm that our product is safe and highly effective. And in terms of competition, we normally compare ourselves against liposomes, which is decades-old technology. In comparison, we are easier to use, safer, and also it works in a more flexible environment and also less prone to leakages. Now, as of right now, we have 5 variations of Hyasphere X that serve a different niche in the market. And you'll probably be wondering is there any cosmetic products out there in the market right now that's using our technology? There are plenty of them. You may probably have seen these brands on the shelf somewhere before, but most of these brands are based in Southeast Asia, Japan, and South Korea. We hope to expand to EU when we fully scale up the production, and we hope that's going to happen in 2025.
Okay, Vikram, we're going to have to stop you there. Your 3 minutes are up for the presentation, and now we go to 2 minutes for questions.
Can you explain the team?
Oh, yes. Thank you. So we have 3 founders. One is myself. So I lead strategy and commerce. I have a background in startup for 5-6 years now. I have 2 good exits in the past, one in AI and one in EV. My CTO is also award-winning biochemist based in Thailand. She leads R&D and also production. We also have a founder who leads compliance and registration, Cody, also based in Thailand as well.
What's your current traction and what are you looking for? Are you fundraising?
Yes. So right now we have 4 distributors who sign on with us. One in Thailand, one in South Korea, one in Japan, and also one to be signed in Germany. And all the countries with the clock name on it are the tractions that we got from the in-cosmetic events. We hope to close these guys up in 2025.
Which kind of protection do you have with for your technology?
So we have more than 10 patents already registered in Thailand, Singapore, US, EU, and also India. And also all variations of Hyasphere X, we also protect that as well. Right now, for those things, we have PCT patents on that. We will continue to file in each country as we expand into those countries.
Just a few seconds left. It must be a very quick question.
The exit that you made and the whole team, do you have experience in D2C, or did you make them in another field?
We normally sell our product through distributor. We don't work with cosmetic brands unless they contact us. And also the exit plan, we think that we hopefully will be taken over by bigger companies who are more specialized in distribution than us.
Thank you very much, Vikram.
Thank you.
Next up, Torsten Walashek, CEO of Neopredix.
Children represent 20% of today's population, but they are 100% of the future. So let's help them. My name is Torsten Walashek. I'm the CEO of Neopredix. I dedicated the last 20 years of my professional life to one mission, making sure that every baby has the best possible start into life. Neopredix develops predictive analytics in maternal and neonatal applications. Our goal is to identify those patients today that will be in a critical situation tomorrow, to reduce the number of preterm deliveries, to reduce lengths of stay in the NICU, save both mothers' and babies' lives, and change the way pregnancy is managed today. We have a commercial partner, Dräger Medical from Germany, and we have R&D collaborations with the Mayo Clinic in the United States and the Charité in Germany. We are super proud to have been able to sign up Draeger as our global distributor. And here's a picture of the soft launch a few weeks ago in the United States. Our neonatal jaundice predictive service is now sold within the Draeger Jaundice Management Total Solution. But I would like to talk about preeclampsia today. Preeclampsia is a public health crisis not only in the United States. More than 70,000 women die every year because of it, and more than 500,000 unborn babies because of the consequences. The short-term costs in the United States alone are more than $2 billion. Globally, we are talking more about $10 billion. What we can do is to move the early prediction of preeclampsia by 3 months from the end of the second trimester into the end of the first trimester. And that gives clinicians the time to intervene 3 months earlier to extend the pregnancy and to avoid preterm deliveries and save moms and babies' lives. We are working on 3 components: early prediction, late prediction, combined by a remote patient monitoring smartphone application. We have an outstanding team. I would like to highlight Professor Verloren from Germany, who is an inventor and the key opinion leader in German-speaking markets when it comes to preeclampsia. Our roadmap clearly shows the light green bars, the impact of the preeclampsia solution, and the light blue bars are our traction in jaundice prediction. I'm here today to raise our Series A of $7 million. We have a commitment of 2.3 already and need about another 4.5 to close this round to bring this solution to market. Please support us in supporting the most underserved patient population in the world globally, which are newborn babies and pregnant women. Let's make sure that every baby has the best possible start into life, reduce the number of preterm deliveries, reduce the time in the NICU, and save mothers and babies' lives. And talking about return on investment, newborn babies have a payback period of plus 80 years. That's what I call ROI. Invest into the paradigm shift, because we didn't know is no longer an option. Thank you very much.
I'm Annie from Cross Border Ventures. What's the specificity and sensitivity of the test?
So in our jaundice prediction, we have an accuracy under the curve of more than 92%. The preeclampsia prediction is work in progress. At the moment, we are at about 75% specificity and sensitivity, but we want to reach at least 85%.
And that's at the end of the first trimester?
Correct.
And against Health Tech Capital. What exactly do you measure and how do you prove accuracy?
Say again, what do we...
What do you measure and how do you prove accuracy, since you're doing it 3 months earlier?
Okay, so we measure mean arterial blood pressure and protein in the urine, everything that can be measured at home. And we are working with global partners like Withings, for example. They provide the test, so we only do the predictive analysis, and the data comes from these partners. And we use their devices and hardware and software.
Ingrid Vaughan, IVD. What's the difference regarding the current urine test that's currently in use?
So based only on urine, there is no predictive value in preeclampsia. It's always a combination of blood pressure and protein in the urine. And we are working based on the Mayo Clinic platform data. We looked at 400,000 pregnant women, 35,000 of them have been preeclamptic, and we saw a pattern that so far has not been identified at the end of the first trimester.
Can you develop more of the business model, please?
Yes, it's software as a service. We sell licenses directly to hospitals through our commercial partner, Draeger Medical.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sahil Gupta, CEO and founder of ProLevi Bio.
Well, oops, I think I skipped a few slides and the first one is missing, but it's okay. I'm Sahil. I am the CEO and founder of ProLevi Bio. At ProLevi, we focus on women's health, and the first indication that we focused on is hypothyroidism, which means underactive thyroid. The disease is characterized by 2 hormones, T4, the inactive, that converts to T3, the active hormone. And the patient suffering from the disease suffer from a variety of symptoms, right from weight gain to increased anxiety, memory loss, and lots of other comorbidities. The problem today is that the first-line treatment, around 150 million patients do not respond at all because they cannot convert this T4 to T3. The second line has poor efficacy because it's dosed 2-3 times a day, has a very short half-life. 1 in 8 patients are too ill to work, and that costs the world economy around $40 billion in losses globally. Our solution is simple: a single-dose T3 formulation, control release, that closely follows the natural hormone release cycles that peak in the night and return back to baseline, thereby mitigating any overdosing side effects. There are 750 million patients worldwide, 600 million are dissatisfied, and 150 million do not respond despite being treated with T4. Our target market initially focused in US and EU5, and the numbers are from T4 prescriptions written today. That's from 10 million US, 20 million EU5. And if you take 15 to 20% of that, 4.5 million patients are our actual focus area, because these are the subjects that cannot convert T4 to T3. We have 3 IPs. PCT is filed. We have already received a positive opinion from EPO office on novelty and inventiveness. Apart from that, the USP is low COGS. It's easily scalable. It is also validated by a EU pharma we are in discussion with, and a fast market entry plan. There have been attempts made in the past, but they've largely failed due to upscaling, failure, high barrier to entry, and a very long pathway to approval. And this is what we want to mitigate at ProLevi Bio. We have also done our first clinical trial. So what you see on the left is the release profile, and you can see in the blue that we are delayed. And we tested in human subject with a T3 proxy. What you see in the solid bars is the actual immediate release data versus in the solid blue, our controlled release formulation. In the dashed line is prediction. Now this is important because there's a proprietary algorithm, and we can predict the PK profile in human just based on our in vitro data. Apart from myself, the team includes serial entrepreneurs, my founding investors, Kosh and Johan, Anna Gzilsen representing Almi Invest, and business angels from Wenger Ingelheim and Ferring and Abbott. Our market entry plan is to enter market after phase 1 in selected territory by claiming equivalence with the current treatment, and for premium pricing after phase 2 and 3 studies. All of these estimates are done by third party with an estimated revenue of $1 billion per year. We have gotten our trial design approved by regulatory authorities, and now we are fundraising $6 million for the phase 1 study, which will give you market entry plan. We have $3 million soft circled already, followed by a potential exit and entry in EU and UK, followed by a phase 2 and 3 study. And that's my time. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Emily Phillips, could you elaborate a little bit more on the business model, on the commercials?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have around 7 CDAs signed with pharma partners, but our idea is to first do the pivotal study, phase 1s, and partner for market and distribution with pharma partners. The exit model largely is focused on M&A, and the pricing that we are claiming is comparable to the current pricing, and that is because the market is just huge. It's pretty much like, I say, like COVID vaccine, because you have like 10% patients suffering from it. So the volume is very high and COGS remain very low. So that is essentially our thinking right now. No more questions, I guess.
We've got 1 minute left for questions, if anybody else would like to ask one.
I guess not.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next up, Lydia Navarro Farré, COO and co-founder of The Blue Box.
So this is the last slide, please. Okay, I have to go back myself. No. Yeah, this one. Breast cancer is the most treatable cancer, but it's still the #1 cancer killer for women. Currently, breast cancer screening is done through mammography, and it's just not that efficient. If we take 3 women with breast cancer, 2 will be detected, and 1 will be sent home. This one will have much poorer prognosis. The 2 women will go back to the hospital for further testing. That's good, right? Not exactly. Only 1% of those women that are recalled for further testing are ending having breast cancer. And we are wasting expensive and limited resources on those women that are mainly healthy, and we have 1/3 of women that are sent home without treatment. So this has consequences. And why is that? Dense breast. 50% of women have them. Yeah, it is now. This woman has breast cancer. This woman does not. Can you tell the difference? Dense breasts are perfectly healthy, but they look white on a mammogram. So, as I mentioned, this has consequences and needs to change. What are the alternatives? Blood and tissue biopsies are strong in science, but they are invasive and they can cost up to €1,000 per test. Another is imaging. Mammograms are great for screening, but the low sensitivity on dense breast is a widely discussed topic in the medical community. So we needed to look elsewhere. Urine. After 6 years working together with the University of Barcelona and the University of California, Irvine, led us to identify relevant biomarkers present in urine and the optimal sample processing method. How are we doing that? We needed to come up with a very accessible and very suitable for screening test, so we looked for a very easy-to-use and low-cost system. What we just do, we'd heat up the urine sample, and those biomarkers that are small enough to become volatile reach our sensors. Our AI processes this signal and creates a pattern that correlates with breast cancer. After 3 years working with 7 hospitals, collecting more than 500 samples from women, we've shown that the blue box is more sensitive than mammography. When mammography gets 73% of cancers, we get 88. So what's next for us? Next year, we will finalize our clinical trial to be CE certified. And in 2026, we will launch in our first market, private gynecology clinics in Spain. We have 2 revenue streams, a fee per test and an annual subscription to access our online diagnostics platform.
Okay, thank you, Lydia, right there. We're going to have to move to the question section, okay? Just under 2 minutes.
So you said it's very easy to use. Is there any limitation on who can use it? Do I have to be a gynecologist, or could this potentially also stand at a GP practice?
Now what we have designed is a device that will be used in the clinics. So it should be used by a doctor or a nurse. So that's really what we have been shown in, interviews with women. They prefer that instead of having it at home, since it's a little bit, creates a little bit of anxiety to receive a result of cancer positive. So it is better to be treated in gynecologist clinics.
Hi, I'm not sure if I have understood. So during the validation, have you included like healthy women, and then have you tracked if they develop in the future cancer, or have you only tested it with already stage, I don't know what cancer, breast cancer?
So what we've done is to collect samples to train our algorithm with women that were already had a suspicion of cancer, and they were returning to the hospital to do further testing. So at that point, we collected samples, and we end up waiting for the final diagnosis of the doctor from the biopsy. So we train the algorithm with those women, and we have 50% of positive women and 50% of control women.
Thank you very much, Lydia Navarro Farré.
Thank you.